Huskies are really anxious dogs for some reason, and they're really anxiety prone, which is why if you have a Husky, you might be dealing with someone um, that just destroys everything whenever you leave and will scream, all kinds of separation anxiety symptoms. So today I'm going to share 8 tips and tricks how to deal with that, or at least help with that. So as you can tell, I've got my boy over here. He's very chill now. He's mostly because he's 8.5 years old. So there is hope, guys. Don't give up on your husky. So the first tip is be patient. And I really mean this. This is not just, hey, you got to be patient and that's it. There's more to it. Huskies, they're kind of like wolves in the sense that they really want to make sure that you are the leader, that you have leadership qualities. So if you're not consistent, right? So if you're not patient, if you're losing your cool, they kind of see that as sort of a lack of leadership type of deal. They kind of look almost like they want to challenge you more. So that's the first thing, right? If they know that you're patient with them, that you have everything under control, it's more likely that they will trust you, and it just makes everything easier. The second tip is I tried this, I tried leaving him in the room for just 1 second and then just kind of pop right back in. And I do that, a couple of times, work it up to 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then you can do that, with leaving the house altogether and then come back in, right? So just to get them comfortable with the concept of you leaving. Even just, again, starting with a short duration and work it up. The third tip is, this is actually really helpful, is walk around the neighborhood and then come home. Walk with your dog, right? Like walk your dog around the neighborhood. They need to know where your house is in relation to the neighborhood. They need to sniff around. They need to get used to the neighborhood. Now, guys, I move a lot, right? I move across state lines a lot, mostly for jobs and other reasons. So I'm always dealing with an anxious husky. Whenever we move to a different apartment, different house, different city, he'll be anxious the first couple of days. And I always try this. I always do this. I walk him around the neighborhood, and then, so that he gets used to the neighborhood, and he also gets used to the concept of coming home. The fourth tip is you can put some treats in your house. I do this so that when we open the door and he comes in, he sees some treats. So you start associating the house with a place of happiness, right? And you want that. I don't have to do that anymore, but it certainly worked when he was a little bit baby. By the way, I got him when he was only 8 weeks old. So there's that. And he was horrible, by the way. He destroyed everything. He chewed out my windowsill. He ate all of my shoes. Just everything, right? So it's completely normal, guys. If you have a crazy husky, anxious husky, that's just the way they are. Don't give up on them, right? Fortunately, there's a lot of huskies in the shelters. All right, next tip, number 5. Tip number 5, keep a consistent schedule, right? So if you're going to work, leave at the same time. Come home at the same time. So the schedule I used to stick to when I was, I guess I still do. I was working remotely for a little bit, but I would leave in the morning and I come home at lunchtime, and then I would come home at around 6 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So he knows when to expect me. Now he does, when he knows what to expect, he wasn't as anxious. So that was that. All right, tip number 6. Especially if you have a younger husky, you gotta wear down that energy. They have a lot of energy. You have to run them. You have to spend a lot of time exercising them. That's just the way Huskies are. So if you wear down that energy, they're going to be less anxious, right? They have, less energy to be anxious with. Tip number 7, leave something behind with your scent. So this is actually pretty heartwarming. So one time I left home and he was, somehow he got out of the crate. Yes, he is crate trained. So he got out of the crate, and then when I came home, I realized he went through every room and gathered into a pile everything that had my scent on it. My dirty socks, my dirty shoes, my dirty flip-flops, my, everything, right? My pants, anything that hasn't been washed. And made it into a pile and sat on it. I think that's just because probably he just missed me. So I started giving him a t-shirt of mine just to hold on to. I don't have to do that anymore, but that really helped. All right, tip number 8, the last one. I always kind of play with him in the house. So, I play ball with him in the house. It's just something that we kind of do. So he gets used to the concept of, again, it goes into the concept of creating a happy home. All right, I hope that helps.